I don't know if I'm crazy, but why does Meow give off like money laundering?
The first black label girl group should have been an absolute success, at the very least because it was created by someone involved in writing some of the most iconic K-pop songs, not to mention the incredibly talented members and a limitless amount of money being poured into developing the group, combined with the connection with the label behind the Beatles. But at what point did everything went so badly, and why did it happen like so fast? Hi, my name is Nana, and today we are gonna talk about Meow. These are not random sounds I am making with my mouth, it's the group's name. Before we begin, please grab yourself some tea. I already have some iced coffee. Without further ado, let's begin. MEOVV is a South Korean girl group formed and managed by the Black Label. The group consists of 5 members: Sooin, Gawon, Anna, Narin, and Eyelid. They debuted on September 6, 2024 with the digital single MEOVV. The group's name MEOVV is an acronym for My Eyes Open Wide. Ella, one of the members, explained that using 2 V's for the W was to add visual fun, and she liked it better because it felt like it represented each member's. I don't know how, but she felt this way. So it's not some random BS the Black Label just came out with. I really thought it was like that, but it actually have some meaning, you know. So yeah, MEOVV debuted in September 2024, but before that there was a lot more to it. You know me, I'm not just gonna tell you what happened after debut. We always talk about pre-debut members, some tea and valid gossip, and this video is by no means an exception. In February 2024, trainee photos from the Black Label rumored to be members of the upcoming girl group went viral. The photos featured choreographer Bailey Sok, child actress / model Ella Cross, former model Chloe Lee, and Annie Moon, the granddaughter of a very wealthy man, like one of the wealthiest families in Korea. In Korea. Yes, those are the photos we talked about in my previous video about All Day Project. Here we have 2 members from ADP and 2 from MEOVV. Well, it actually looked like Annie Moon was gonna be part of MEOVV, but she later reportedly dropped out. I guess it was good for her because then she debuted with ADP, but again, all of that is in my previous video. Link will be below. I will remind you in the end, so don't worry, you won't miss it. In August 2024, the group's official social media accounts were opened along with the reveal of their name, MEOVV. Members were revealed starting with Ella, followed by Gawon, Sooin, Anna, and Narin. Later, the Black Label announced a new partnership with Capitol Records to manage MEOVV's global promotions. Y'all, that's the tea already, because Capitol Records works with artists like Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, Doechii, The Beatles, Katy Perry, Paul McCartney, Sam Smith, Ice Spice, Louis Capaldi, Troye Sivan, Lola Young, and more. MEOVV finally debuted on September 6, 2024 with a single. I'm sorry if I'm mentioning it like 3 times, but with a single. Yeah, what did we expect from the Black Label? Not even an EP, just 1 song, and that's not even worth it. But later in November, the digital single double title tracks Toxic and Body were released. In March 2025, we found out that MEOVV's fandom is called Bark. Okay, I'm kidding, it's called Pound, and that's not a joke anymore. Pound, yeah. It's actually quite creative and unique, so my toxicity was unnecessary. In mid-April 2025, it was announced that MEOVV would be making their comeback with their first EP, titled My Eyes Open Wide. I don't know how to read it, like white or white, along with its title track Drop Top. Before the EP itself was out, we got the pre-release single Hands Up, which turned out to include previous songs like MEOVV, Toxic, and Body. With Hands Up, the girls received their first ever music show win on Countdown. A bit later, MEOVV released their first Japanese single called Me, but that's more of a promotional track for Japanese cosmetic brand Kao. So far, that is it for their discography, but to be honest, the music isn't necessarily the most interesting part about the group. The girls attracted a lot of attention through their members. Of course, we start naturally with Ella. That's the only way I know. Ella was casted in one of those South Korea parks at 2 years old, and after that she worked as a model with brands like Zara, H&M, Gap, Fendi, Levi's, and Tommy Hilfiger. She debuted on the runway at the age 9 and walked at New York Fashion Week, oh my god, in 2019 when she was 10. Leaving her former agency, LA Models, Gross signed with the Black Label in 2018 to manage her modeling career. Its co-founder, Katie Park, said she has a special voice that's absolutely capable of being a singer. It was also said that Rosa of Blackpink wanted a demo song recorded by Ella after listening. Ella Gross also did some acting with US-based company that also managed Zendaya and Dylan Minnette. And also there is Baskin-Robbins controversy, which attracted a lot of attention back then. Basically, Ella is eating ice cream in a promotional video for this ice cream brand, Baskin-Robbins. A lot of netizens and a lot of people thought that it was inappropriate and all of that it was too much for an ad. Like, you know what I mean, right? For me personally, I didn't find anything sexual in that video, but I know that there are a lot of creeps on the internet, so I understand why it gathered so much attention. Let me play the video now and you will decide if it's worth the scandal or not. So what do you think? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, because for me it's nothing bad, but I know that for a lot of people it is that bad. Well, I knew Ella since 2019. Back then, Blackpink were actively posting her on their pages, which was even a bit strange. They did live streams with her, made lots of content together. This makes me think that the company already then was trying to draw maximum attention to her and just knew that sooner or later this girl would debut. I remember back then she was called the trainee who had close ties with Blackpink. I kind of think that she wasn't a trainee back then, she was just a model working for the Black Label, but later she became a trainee. That's how I view it. But actually it's an interesting business strategy of the Black Label. They take people as models or choreographers, hire them, and then turn them into idols, and for some it ends well, but for others not so much. Indeed, after debuting with MEOVV, Ella was named as a brand ambassador for MEOVV. At the time of debut, the most popular and most talked about member was Ella because people already knew her. She literally had millions of followers before debut. The other members are no worth though. Gawon was a former YG Entertainment trainee and a former model who starred in Adidas ads. Japanese member Anna Tanaka began as a child model and was an exclusive model for 17 Japan from October 2019 to December 2021. Narin is apparently from one of the wealthiest family of South Korea, and almost nothing is known about Sooin. She was a trainee in another company since 2019 and joined the Black Label in 2022. This conversation about Narin being from rich family started from these photos where she wears some items that are allegedly extremely expensive. Please, can someone tell me why people wear and still are so sure that these items are 100% original? Like, it can easily be a dupe, and why people sleeping on it? Am I missing something, or are dupes not normal in Korea? I am pretty sure she is from rich family, but can someone please tell me why people thought that this is the proof for it? Why was it proof? These girls with some industry experience formed the group MEOVV. Now it's time to talk about their music. Yeah, finally. So their first work released to the world is MEOVV. My attitude to self-titled works is negative. Only Chase Atlantic gets to do that. This is usually something underground artists do when they have no ideas, no team, or no creativity. The work itself is just nothing. It gives the vibe of Blackpink demo song, and this is a frequent story with YG and a Black Label. Now it's just a song celebrating themselves, talking about flexing, money and dollars, which is dumb if it's literally your first song. I know they have experience, I know they may be rich and successful even before debuting like Ella or Narin, I know that, but this is your first song. The visuals are terrible. It looks cheap. The girls mostly flex at the camera and pose, looking mysteriously directly into the camera. You can actually hear some of their training and skills like rap vocals and dance too, but it's still not enough, far from a good and quality debut. You have to try hard to make a debut so bad so that the audience can't even tell the members' training and skills. MEOVV is a typical K-pop song that would have gone absolutely unnoticed if it was a debut from a group from an unknown company. You might say, no, like Nana, what are you talking about? It's not that bad. I listened to this song and it's not that bad. I'll tell you, yes, it's not ear-rending garbage you can't listen to. It's just a below average song with catchy moments and hooks. It's like a typical Blackpink comeback, but like not Blackpink. Like honestly, you cannot reassure me and tell me that MEOVV is a good song. You can try to, because I read every comment and I'm actually very open to other people's opinions. But for now, I genuinely don't know how some people can call it high quality debut. 2 months later, we got Toxic. Y'all, when I saw and felt Toxic, my jaw dropped. Very beautiful video. It's like a simple slideshow of beautiful shots, but together with the song it flows naturally and refined. Here we fully hear the vocal abilities of the members. Here's some tea. The more I listen to this song, the more I want to enter a toxic relationship, experience its breakup, and dive into it all, but realize that it's impossible for us to be together. Bro, where was this song in June 2024 when I needed it the most? This is a very beautiful maximum quality song. By the way, I was a little stunned that it's entirely in English because I definitely heard Korean in the MV. Plus, we have lyrics that simply and precisely describe toxic relationships. I wish you never understand it, but it's true. The lyrics are fire. They're quite simple, but still they are so relatable. You want to listen to it again and again and again. And I think maybe this song will help some girls after breakup. A few days later, boom, we have Body. It's very different from Toxic and not like the debut track too. Body is an underground dancer vibe, and all I can say is it's a cool song. It's catchy, it sticks in your head, but at the same time, it's not the typical cheap, already tired formula of Black Label. It's something new, but not enough new to be directly called wow, you know? I have weird feelings about this track, so I'd rather wait for your comments, your opinion, whether it's good or bad for most of you. Lyrically, I can't say much. It's about cool vibes and flexing. However, here it sounds natural, and again, not every song needs to have meaning. Debut song needs to have meaning. Body is one of the songs that sounds natural and cool without needing meaning. April 28th, 2025. Remember what you were doing that day? For me, it wasn't a bad day, but what about you? Maybe you were listening to Hands Up that day, because that's the day they came back with Hands Up, which is now their most popular track on YouTube and second in popularity on Spotify. From the first note, it feels strange, and then you don't get what you hear, but damn, you like it because it's something unique, but at the same time it's something that we haven't heard in K-pop yet. It reminds you of something nostalgic. It gives cozy vibe of nostalgia. In my opinion, Hands Up is a genius piece for release in 2025. It is what K-pop was missing, absolutely nostalgic yet fresh sound that sounds out in a current market of girl K-pop groups. The hype is fueled by the fact that the song came out during a period of nearly empty female K-pop. There were no official releases from Eugene's, Baby Monster, and Eyelid at that time. The only real competition for MEOVV were Katseye, but apparently South Korean shows don't like Katseye, so they didn't win anything with Gnarly, which is strange to me. So long story short, all these factors led the girl to their first music show win.
We got dusted above, okay, we back.
This took more time than for Blackpink All Day Project, Baby Monster, but it happened and the girls were happy. Next we got the soundtrack from the EP Drop Top. This is what you least expect from a group that debuted with such a song, but in a best way. It's again a nostalgic sound K-pop was missing, and maybe I dare say missing in global pop. A very sweet music video, not without some empty stares into the camera, but it's interesting to watch. It has warm tones and visual. When you watch it, you feel cozy, like carefree at 12 before crying. where your main worry was editing a photo in PixArt. It's a warm vibe like Hands Up, but Drops Up, unlike Hands Up, is even more nostalgic and warm, but at the same time, even more new and fresh. Like when I hear the song, I wanna dance and pretend I'm hitting those high notes while kneeling. Okay, forget what I said, it's just a very high quality and beautiful song that also showcases the girl's full talent. There is also the song Lit Right Now, the only song from the album that wasn't promoted. I bet you haven't heard it, and honestly you don't need to, but now I'll play a short snippet so you roughly understand the vibe. Yeah, that's the vibe of the whole song. Doesn't it remind you of Left and Right by XG? If this track, Lit Right Now, came out in 2022, it would have been a hit on a level of New Jeans or even better. I cannot say that it's a weak piece, it's just outdated, but it's definitely something fans would enjoy. That closes this EP. The latest release from the group so far is Me Me Me. Technically their first Japanese release, a promo track for a cosmetic brand called Oka, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't care much about the collaboration, but the song is fire. If it wasn't a collaboration and if the track was promoted as a standalone release, it has potential success. At the same time, it heavily reminds me of New Woman by Doja Cat and that viral track BTBT. Then I just had to say something. I searched for this song for half an hour across TikTok, YouTube, and ChatGPT. ChatGPT disappointed me so much. So since we're already talking about an entirely different topic, I suggest you subscribe to the channel. I'm happy to have everyone here. We are forming a smart family of smart people, little by little is what am I saying? So I'd be grateful for your support and thank you separately for the love you showed the last video. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm giving you some time to subscribe because, you know, I'm giving you some time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's return now to Meow. I didn't find any info that Me 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 used a sample, but the melody maximally, like extremely crazily reminds me of Doja Cat and BTBT. So, woof. So Meow, what are they now? Meow is a group with strong members who not only are strong individual personalities separate from each other, but also form a balanced group where almost no one stands out too much. You know who I mean, right? Come on, you definitely know. Ella Gross, as we said. Ella was a popular model before debut, and Blackpink made her very popular in the K-pop community. She literally has more individual followers than the entire group combined. I checked her account in 2024 before it became known that she was gonna debut with Meow, and there were 2 or 3 million followers as far as I remember. Don't ask me what I was doing on that account. Just randomly checking out Ella Gross profile, right? I just remember her last photo was in December 2023, and it was that specific photo, then half a year of silence, and I just felt something was coming. I felt it. Basically, millions of people knew her and awaited her debut. Ella was the first whose video was released on the channel because the company just knew that Ella's presence in a group would already attract a lot of attention. She was literally called Little Jenny before debut, although in my opinion, Narin is more similar to Vibe and Jenny. In Vibe to Jenny. She stands out, she stood out, and that just cannot be changed. You can't debut Ella Gross with almost unknown girls and expect equal attention to all. Somehow preparing this video, I thought the situation would be better. I mean, it has always been a year since their debut, and I thought that everything is fine now, that the fandom pays attention to all girls roughly equally, but no, Ella was and remains and probably will continue to be the most popular member of the group. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. She has talent, beauty, and everything needed to be a star, an idol, an it girl, whatever. However, what I am saying is that it's honestly unfair for the other members. They don't receive the attention they deserve. If you remove the fact of Ella's personal popularity, they actually have almost perfect chemistry. Their skills are top tier. They form an ideal group with ideal chemistry. In my opinion, Anna kinda doesn't fit Meow's vibe, but actually that's just my subjective feeling. Just because of those photos, I can't perceive her sincerely, but that's again purely mine. Among Meow's members, there is chemistry and a wonderful interaction, wonderful vibe. I don't know, they are just good. It's not like with all their projects. In Meow, everyone stands out, but equally, if you do not consider how popular Ella is individually. Everyone has a chance to shine and get attention, praise, and spots they deserve, but yes, Ella takes it all because of her individual popularity. It's not her fault, of course, but the difference is quite noticeable. Go under any group post on any social media, 90% sometimes chance people talk about Ella, and you have to give her credit. She draws a lot of attention to the group, to their music, so calling her solo popularity a disadvantage is also quite hard. However, you see what the problem is? MEOVV is a group. Right now I don't see any scenario that would make every member as popular as Ella. They still look natural and organic as a group, so this is the question open for discussion. Is Ella overshadowing them, as it seems to me? By the way, something we didn't talk about, I remember how during W many were disappointed by Ella's charisma, skills, and I was disappointed too. We expected something wow because she's been in a company since 2018 but got a stone cold face instead. But literally the next comeback everything became much better and now it's just a slay. Ella is one of the best examples in my opinion who took criticism and improved from what the audience was dissatisfied with and in the shortest time. Generally all the girls continue to improve since debut. Narin became more diverse, we heard her incredible vocal abilities and absolutely unique tone. Gawon also has a unique vocal tone and has slay visuals. Anna brings an incredible amount of attention to the group through her visuals, and I mean huge amount of attention. And Sooin, from my feeling, slightly faded, but I noticed her aura and skills already from the debut track, but I feel like somehow she is fading a bit. I hope she reveals herself a bit more. I am rooting for her. You will be surprised by what I'm about to say, but the group has almost no scandals. There still are certain controversies. It all started, of course, with Ella and the fact that the group allegedly debuted with the main goal of putting Ella into it. We all knew, I'll be honest, we all knew that the main share of attention would be on her, especially during the debut era. And that's exactly what happened. While preparing for this video, I came across this TikTok.
I don't know if I'm crazy, but why does MEOVV give off like money laundering? Like I can't put my finger on it, but like it seems as if like they debuted the group because of Ella. Like I imagine like her parents were like, oh, like can we just debut her? And they're like, okay. And then they just threw the other girls in.
And listen, I know TikTok video is not an argument, but just look at the number of likes, the number of people agreeing with this take. I would have agreed too if I had seen this in September or October 2024. But if we think about just debut of MEOVV, this video is still valid. Now everything is much better though, so this video is simply irrelevant, aged badly, so to speak. The next controversy is the debut itself. Not so much the song itself, even though it still was hated a lot, but the performances which failed to impress the public. In my opinion, the first few performances really were a bit lower and worse than the later ones, but I can just put it on the fact that they were nervous and the fact that it was literally their first ever performance on such a stage. Since now everything is very good in this terms, I won't dwell on it. One member's vocals received a big wave of criticism, and I'm talking about Anna. The criticism was valid, but not hate. You know guys, in one video about the seraphim, I said that the hate was deserved. I apologize for that, I haven't addressed it before. That was one of my first videos and I was so done with some events connected to seraphim that I said it without thinking. The criticism was still justified and valid, but of course not the hate, so I apologize for that. Thank you for opening my eyes. Overall, when it comes to MEOVV performances, there are almost no vocal complaints. They hit high difficult notes, they have stable vocals, and they also dance with full energy. There are some moments that are not exactly perfect, but perfection doesn't exist, and I think it's really much better this way than flawless live vocals that are actually just a backing track. I wouldn't want to compare MEOVV to anyone because they are good on their own, but Blackpink, well, just know it is possible to both sing and dance. One member also attracted a wave of negative attention with her alleged plastic surgeries, and again I'm talking about Anna. Dear fans, let's have a conversation. We have to admit it, idols did and will have plastic surgery. There is no natural beauty in K-pop. When I was younger, I always pushed the idea that, oh, my idols are all natural and they just matured, they just grew up. But now I've matured and I grew up myself, so let's just stop at the fact that almost every idol, literally almost every single one, has had plastic surgery. And I say almost not because I know someone without it, but because maybe somewhere there is, someone like that. Whether it's good or bad, everyone decides for themselves. themselves. You can let me know your choice, your opinion on it in the comments, and also please write or comment why you think K-pop fans defend this idol so much and why they say so much. No, they're completely natural. Well, why? So what was the point of the attention there was on Anna for her alleged plastic surgery? Even though it is popular in K-pop, it still gets chewed over from all sides. During the debut era, there was a big conversation about how much her face changed, how she quote changed her nationality with the plastic surgery, and just recently netizens noticed certain bruises on parts of her body that allegedly indicate an operation like liposuction. As for plastic surgery, Elsa also got dragged into it. She allegedly had eyelid surgery, allegedly not so long ago. If that is true, then in Ella's case, I actually feel even more sorry. She was literally celebrated since childhood for her natural beauty, but also maybe that is what pushed her. Because if all people tell you that you're beautiful, you're pretty since your childhood, you end up focusing way too much on your appearance. I mean, you can still take compliments for sure, but when people over focus on your appearance, you focus on it also too much, especially as a kid. I don't know about the other members' plastic surgery. There hasn't been such a conversation around it. I can assume they have done something, but I don't know. I do not know. MEOVV discography is still controversial. An extremely weak debut era, then some improvements, and then boom, and finally we have something high quality and worth listening to. Even people who wouldn't listen to Drop Top or Hands Up on their own, you guys can admit that it's still quality work. Of course, if you think otherwise, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear everyone's perspective because I still read every single comment, yeah, till this day. So what will happen with the group's music next? Only the company decides. I can assume that such a weak debut is actually just a strategy so that there wouldn't be high expectations for the group in the future, but there still would be curiosity, attention, and discussion. And so that when they release something worthy, everyone would be like, oh, wow, Song of the Year, and so on. In any case, this strategy clearly works, even with Baby Monster. I would also say that maybe even if the debut had been super high quality, my reaction to Drop Top or Hands Up wouldn't have been so bright. But I want to highlight my respect for Toxic. It came out after the debut track and it's paradise for the ears. Narin slays, her voice is heavy slay. Even though I didn't really like her in the debut era, I don't know why she reminded me of my ex-teammate in dance. Oh my god, better not talk about it. Okay, Narin slayed just like every other member. I know I talked about it, but I actually want to fall in love and enter a toxic relationship just for the sake of this song. I miss that. I miss that feeling. I need to stop before manifesting. This is supposed to be a conclusion, not the part about toxic. Of course, MEOVV in the future can either take off and rise up or just go straight down. It all depends on a company. Considering the direction they've taken in music, I think that most likely they're headed for success in K-pop and maybe even global success. They have all the it girls. They actually can become the biggest fifth generation group, and especially with such a company backing them, there is almost no chance for flop if their music will still continue to be high quality. To be honest, in my opinion, they have a chance on global market. They can be really successful. Like not right now, but over some time. With the next comeback, everything will become clearer. More clear. And for now, I'd like to ask, what do you personally think about MEOVV's debut, their current music, and does Ella really overshadow the members as much as it seems to me? Thank you endlessly for watching and for your support. See you later. Bye. Really, thank you. I'm so excited.